Hello, everybody. Welcome to another exciting episode of Jimmy's Jambox. We're here. We're back at it again, and we're going to get on into it. But before we do, as always, please make sure to like, subscribe, push all the buttons, do all the things. You know, I don't know where they are, but you do, and I trust you. And with that being said, here's a quick word from our sponsors. Organic herbs and botanicals, skincare and edibles, wellness for body and mind. The Brothers Apothecary. Fine teas and remedies. Ronald Records. From indie gems to classic hits, discover the heart of local music. With live shows all the time, up close and personal, and regular releases on their in-house label. Ronald Records. Supporting the community, one track at a time. All right, thank you all so much for watching. Again, shout out The Brothers Apothecary, Ronald Records, and Portland Water. Thanks for keeping us hydrated. And with that being said, let's go ahead and get on into it. Here is today's guest.
Hey, I'm
Hello.
FunkyFairy. Hello.
Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
It's good to see you again.
You too.
Yeah, for those of you that haven't seen it yet, she made a guest appearance on one of the Jambox Presents back in, I think it was the episodes that came out in February with High Gain Theory. So definitely check that out after this. Or pause this, go check that out first, come back. Up to you. Either way, we're here now.
Yes.
Why don't you tell us a little bit about, who you are, where you're from, what you do. Give us that Tinder profile of your involvement in music.
Oh, shit. Okay. I'm Caitlin. I am born and raised in Portland, Oregon. And when I say Portland, I mean on a Black Angus farm, like 45 minutes from Portland.
It still counts.
Yeah, it still counts.
That's much more close. That's much closer than a lot of other people.
Yeah, we were the classic go to Portland for the Blazer games kind of vibe, But I've been living in Portland proper for 8 years now. It's been such a blessing, and I'm obsessed. I love Portland. It has everything I could ever want, and the music scene is amazing.
We're going to edit that to say Vancouver every time. No,
we're not.
I'm kidding. And what got you started into music initially? What was the jumping off point for you there?
For sure. My heart, the call within my soul to write things on paper. And I've always been writing things, and then there's that jump where you go from writing to figuring out how to turn a YouTube free beat into yours.
Okay, fair.
Isn't real, but we try,
You're like, their Venmo information's right here. This is legit.
Don't do that. Yeah. Don't do that. But yeah, finding producers was really fun. Just talking about my music and I've worked with a couple producers in Portland. It's been a blast. Just people with microphones in their house making beats, laying it down. And then High Gain Theory and
High Gain Theory.
Shout out High Gain Theory, cutie. We were partners for a while, and we got to just really work together. And there's just certain people where you connect and you can make music. We could make a music. All of our songs we made in a hangout sesh.
Yeah.
Of just what kind of sounds do you want to hear? And I'd be like, boom, bop, beam, bop, boom. And he's like, okay.
He's like, I know, I have exactly that.
Literally, he's so talented. He will just whip out this insane beat in 15 minutes. And then that's another one of my talents and his together is I could just freestyle probably 3 times and find this find this hook and just hit right in the pocket. And we would just look at each other hype zone, oh shit, this is it, And so, that's where my music really took off was with Josh, High Gain Theory, and being able to perform with him and just take it on the road. We had so much fun.
Yeah. Well, we'll dig into more of that in the middle portion of this.
Yes.
But before we get officially into the now, I do have a couple of foundation questions I'd like to check in with everybody on. This first one, it's one we ask early, it's one we ask often, and it's definitely a crowd favorite. What was the first album you ever bought with your own money?
Oh, God. With my own money. I mean, it was probably Avril Lavigne.
Okay. Okay. I mean, quality album. And it doesn't matter which one it was. Quality album.
100%, dude. On the way to soccer practice. That's the only thing we're bumping out, and it was good times. Good times, Avril. Thank you.
I remember my dad bought her first album.
Let's go, Dad.
Yeah. And I was just like, what are we doing here? Like, and not like he bought it for the house. He was like, this is cool. I like this. I want to listen to this when we're in the car. And I was like, all right.
Say less.
Yeah, I was like, dude, you do not have to. We're not arguing about this. Yeah. He was a skater boy. Damn. Yeah. So I'm here for that 100%.
Hell yeah.
And then what was one of the first live shows you ever went to? That was like specifically one you wanted to go to.
Yeah.
You saw it was happening. You got the tickets. You went to it.
Yeah, I went to Coldplay was one of my.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah, I was super excited about that. Grew up singing their songs a lot and talent shows and stuff when I was little, I remember.
They were in everybody's house.
Yeah. They were amazing. And live was truly magical. Just a beautiful show. It was a really, really special time.
I remember I saw them once on like one of the late nights. So it may have been Jimmy Fallon or something equivocal.
Yeah.
And it was, I don't remember what era of their music it was, but it was when they were wearing like the Civil War jackets. And I remember at one point, the main guy just goes up to the front and starts playing a floor tom. And I'm just like, you're just allowed to do that? Like, it's just one drum. He's like, yeah. I was like, all right.
Okay.
Hey, power to you. It was
They're
cool.
so talented.
Yeah.
Super talented.
Yeah.
Great guys.
Hell yeah. And then like growing up, was anybody else in your household musical at all?
Yeah, we were all playing the piano. Everyone took piano lessons. We were all singing. We were dancing. Whenever we were doing chores, we were blaring music. Like mostly it was a dance party, a little bit of chores, more dance. So everybody.
More fun makes less work.
That's it, straight up. And that's what it was at my house. It was a very safe space to be creative in that way and just be silly and expressive. And I am so grateful for that. So everybody was super musical.
Hell yeah.
Super fun. Yeah.
Love that. And then before we officially get into it, and you may have already kind of touched on this, but do you have a defining moment where you decided you wanted to take music more seriously?
Ooh, good question. Yeah. Have you ever performed on a stage?
Oh, yes. Many a time.
Okay.
Many different stages of all different sizes.
Yeah. Well, I think after like my 4th or 5th performance on a stage where I actually had that comfortable feeling of I'm not going to like shit my pants anymore. I'm like excited to get up and like share my art and my heart. And, man, I just remember getting off stage and just those beautiful people, like my brothers and sisters on earth, like coming up to me and just being like, oh, it makes me emotional. But just, being like, that was awesome, dude. Like that was relatable and just like, it's cute because we sit in our rooms and like write this shit from our heart. Yeah. And then you get up and you perform it. And it's like this gorgeous full circle of like sharing your love and then having it just shined back on you. And it's like, this is like special, like this is a part of why I'm here. And like, I can't wait to just keep this little momentum dream going. And I don't even care how big or how small it is. It's just like my heart that I love performing and sharing. And that's all I need. Like, I don't need something from it. It's just like this feeling of like, oh, I'm so excited to keep doing this.
Yeah.
And it's awesome.
Damn. I've never heard anybody describe it so well.
I'm a crybaby, y'all.
That's okay. You're gonna love a question we have later in the interview then, for sure. For sure. Well, thank you for sharing that one.
Yeah, of course.
I'm sorry, I don't have any tissue.
No, it's
all right?
okay.
All right. Then we're gonna move on to the next one.
Let's do it.
And we're gonna get into more of the now, but we are gonna get what I think is a super easy one out of the way.
Cool.
How'd you pick the name?
Ooh, I'm just a fairy. So, I'm also just a really, really funky girl, just silly and quirky. And I don't know how I picked the name. It just kind of came, she came to be. It was just like I'm a little funky fairy, and we're just like, let's do that. And I'm just like, and there's a part of me that it's like growing out of it a little bit. And I'm like, okay, like I might morph funky fairy into something else, kind of feeling that out. I've been feeling that for like 6 months. So I've just been tossing around the feeling of like where I'll morph to, but funky fairy is just me.
Yeah, I dig that. It's definitely a cool name. It's easy to remember. It's easy to spell. It's that vibe.
Yeah.
I'm so curious what you would go to next. I'm a big fan of names.
Yeah.
And like how they like attach to things. So like, but we won't do that on camera. That's not, that becomes a long-winded conversation. But I am curious what you end up going with. So we'll have to find out.
You post.
Yeah, please. Now let's go ahead and let's talk about your writing process a little bit. And we're going to break it up into chunks, but we're going to start right at the beginning. So when you get inspired, you're ready to make music.
Yeah.
What does getting a track started look like for you?
Nice. So, I love writing first. Like there are times where I'll hear music or a beat and be inspired by it, which is awesome. But usually I'll hear a phrase in my head, or I'll say something and I'm like, that's a bar. That's a fucking bar, dude. And I'll take it either if I don't have my paper accessible, which I always choose my paper. I'll take it to my phone too, in my notes, and just like write it out. But if I'm writing on paper, really I'll just write. I feel this like gift where it just channels in.
Yeah.
Very fast. It's like
interesting.
Yeah, it's like a download, and I'm like writing. I'm writing. It's like novel, and so I know it's interesting. I'll write like 2 pages.
Oh dang.
And then I will find maybe a beat on YouTube. I'll like start there, and then I'll take that idea to my producer, and I'll be like, I love this vibe. Do you catch my vibe of what I'm saying? And he'll yes or no, and we'll figure it out. But and then I will freestyle off of my stuff.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
So you're not even using exactly what you wrote down. You're using that as like
it's my
points of reference to pull from.
I'll be crossing out stuff like, and then it'll like come together, and I'll be like, oh, this is sick, or I'll say this backwards. It like makes it cooler, or like run through it a few times and really just like. Sometimes I will just freestyle off of that one sentence that came to me a few times into my mic at home. And that will like, and then I'll write down that freestyle. Gotcha. It's hard to remember a freestyle.
Yeah.
Thank God it's recorded.
Yes. We are blessed with that option now.
It does help.
Yeah.
So, it just depends on how it kind of comes out that day. But usually I'm writing a lot and then dialing back. Or I'm freestyling and writing it down.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And then once you get a track finished writing, so it doesn't have to be like released yet,
right?
But you've gotten to the point where you can kind of start learning it. How long does it usually take you to feel comfortable enough to perform a track?
Pretty quick.
Okay.
I was a theater kid. So.
Oh, okay. So you're used to a quick turnaround then.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
I used to memorize lines for a living. So, really quick. I would say I would just need like at least 2 weeks.
Oh, that's not too bad.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just practice in my room like every day, maybe at least 5 times, run through it. And it clicks in pretty easily.
Yeah.
And
that, I guess you've been like practicing performing and or just performatively moving at home for so long anyways that probably doesn't really feel like practice even. It just kind of feels like part of the day.
My siblings would attest that I've been practicing performing since I was a child.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, I dig that.
Thanks.
And actually I did go and check out some of your music.
Oh, shit.
So I jumped on Yield Spotify, and you've got music going all the way back to 2022 on there. And that first track on there was Wisteria Flowers.
Yeah.
Or am I saying that right? Is it Wisteria?
I say wisteria.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Cool. I'm pretty sure I like tried to find how you said it. I was like, I'm gonna say it that way.
Yeah.
Because I did do it as a breakdown during my previous solo segment that I was rocking for a little bit.
I loved that.
It was a really cool track. I enjoyed it quite a bit. And then getting to kind of hear everything else after that.
Yeah.
It was really fun because you've got a couple tracks with High Gain Theory. And those ones definitely have like
Print.
Yeah, there's this like element to it. But I mean like oh my god, why am I I didn't write down the name. Is it Fist? Is That the name of the track? Okay, sorry. It was supposed to be on my notes because I didn't want to forget
good job.
it. But that one was cool too. I was
Thank
like,
you.
go for it.
Thank you.
Yeah.
No, I go for it.
Yeah. And that was, I remember when, like I said, when I saw you live, I was like, this is cool.
Thank
She's
you.
like leaning into it. She's got her own vibe. Like, you know, having done this a million times now, I never assume what anybody's anything is going to sound like or be like in any way.
No.
So it's always just the curiosity of like, what is going to happen?
That's the number one thing that people say to me because my name is FunkyFairy. You might think that I'll come and do Wisteria Flowers, that kind of vibe. But every time, well, lately in my music, I've been rapping. And or speaking quickly or whatever with a hook, and people are just like, okay, wasn't expecting you to rap when you get up there in your little flowy outfits, and then you're just like, okay, and I'm just like, I mean, that's a big duality that lives inside of me, you know, like the funky and the fairy. It's not what you think, but it's very much me, you know.
Well, also aren't the original or more earlier iterations of fairies more like? Not maybe mischievous isn't the right word.
No,
but
they
like
are.
the one they would have used.
Yes,
So like the original versions of fairy were not the prim proper entities that are often displayed.
No,
they were little problems.
Yeah, they're like, is there a pot I can stir?
Yeah. Like they weren't always up to no good, but they weren't always up to good. Yeah. But yeah, so I mean, it makes sense to me.
Yeah.
But I am curious though. Out of all the music you have available or songs that you perform regularly, what are some of your favorite songs to perform?
Yeah, I don't perform Wisteria Flowers very much because I perform with Joshua with High Gain Theory a lot. I'm trying to kind of divert into my own little performing just FunkyFairy. Big dream there. But that's hard. See, I have some music that I only perform and it's not released yet.
That's fine. What are like? That's why I was saying like even like tracks you're performing regularly.
Right.
Like if someone were to go to your next show.
Right.
Like what's the one that if they're in the know they're going to be like this is the one.
Okay.
To like lock in.
Yeah. It doesn't have a name yet. We call it Elves.
Okay.
It's not the name at all. We have an inside joke where we just make up a word that day and that's the name of the song that we just spit. So we call it Elves, and it's just, I just really love it. It's just about like, no, you hear my sound. It's just like,
you perform that.
Okay, sick.
Yes.
It's called Elves, you know?
Gotcha.
So I just enjoy it. I feel like it kind of like raises the beat a little bit in the room, and like, I love the message. You know, I remember being inspired to make that song at a show and that I performed at, and I went home and wrote it that night, and we performed it within weeks, you know, and it was just like, it's our next song we're releasing, and it hits. I love it. Did I perform the Whisper song?
You did.
Okay, cool.
Yes.
That's new.
Hell yeah.
It doesn't have a name. We call it Mommy. That's hilarious.
That works.
High Gain's gonna laugh at this.
Y'all getting the inside baseball on this episode.
But yeah, I love it. It's I really wanted to make a song where we whisper, and I just kind of wanted people to like listen.
Yeah, mixing that was so much fun. No, I'm kidding. It was not a problem.
Killed it. Sorry, you did so good. But I wanted to do a whisper. I wanted to kind of make people be like listen. I wanted to, and I like doing that. I like doing something a little different, and I love performing that one. And
it definitely has a cool energy to it.
Thank you.
Yeah,
appreciate that. But yeah, those are probably my two favorites right now.
Well, that explains why they were the two you performed with High Gain Theory.
Yes, yeah.
So y'all can actually go check them out. If you didn't go do it earlier, you can still pause this now, go listen to that, and come back.
Do it.
Yes. Now I want to take a moment. I want to kind of zoom out. We'll look at more music as a whole. What are you listening to right now? What are you taking in just as a music consumer?
Nice. A lot of hippie shit, like no words, kind of just like beautiful vibes. I'm a big dancer. I was a dance major in college. It's like
cool.
A really big passion of mine is dance. And yeah, I really enjoy to be inspired to move. So been listening to a lot of stuff like that. There's this artist, he spells it Lith, E.
Mhm.
Lithe. I don't know. Check him out.
Which is light with a silent H.
Yeah. Genius. But it is smooth. It is good. Makes me want to move.
Mhm.
Yeah, I definitely would consider myself a trap queen as well. No shame.
As we all do.
No shame.
As we all should at
Safe
least.
space.
Yes. That's going to be my next backdrop. It's just going to say Trap Queen.
Yeah.
Big glowing neon.
Please. Please let me take a photo under that.
We're starting a Patreon, y'all. Let's make it happen.
So yeah, big trap queen. I always have been.
Mm-hmm.
I was raised super Mormon, so I wasn't able to live out my trap queen
Fair.
fantasies. So once I just, left the church, it was just a full send.
Yeah.
Deep in the trap abyss. So I've crawled out, and I'm I've found my happy medium of oh wow, there's some really horrible trap and there's some really great trap, just like all.
There's good stuff in every genre.
Every genre, yeah.
I do have a quick question.
What?
So a lot of people that have come on the show, they have a more Christian Catholic background. So they're oh, we grew up with Christian rock. Christian
Yeah, hell yeah.
Does Mormon have its own categories of music as well?
We would sit in the Christian rock.
Oh, okay,
Yes.
okay. So y'all shared
We
that.
share that umbrella.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. I was just curious if it
Josh Groban, the classics. Yeah, we loved all that stuff.
Gotcha.
So good. Have you listened to the 103.7 station? It's
not at the moment.
it's
no.
God rap. You guys check out
There's a
103.7.
Christian rap
It
station.
is hard. My best friend is going to be laughing so hard right now.
know
He's
what?
like, Caitlin, you actually are playing this on your own music right now. I'm like, I know.
I'm gonna be honest though. That makes sense. Like I said, a lot of people from here, they do say that their early experiences with rap and hip hop was through the Christian rap category, just because that's pretty prominent in these
It is
parts. So
good.
that makes
music.
sense.
So good.
Yeah. Well, learned
Mm-hmm.
something today. Thank you for sharing that.
103.7.
Yeah. All right. Now, with that being said, we've got one last question to go in this middle portion. And this is probably the densest question in the interview.
Nice.
But we've talked about, your experience with music, the actions, the reactions.
Mm-hmm.
But when it's just you and music, one-on-one, what does music give back to you?
Oh my God. Pure life. It gives me everything. It lifts me. It holds me tenderly. I will cry. Music is everything for me. It will fuel me.
Mm-hmm.
It will put me right where I need to be. If I it boosts me up for work. It boosts me up for shows. For I make all my own clothes, so the whole time I'm sewing, I'm listening to music on shuffle, and it's just and that's on shuffle is when you can really.
Yeah, that's when you get to know yourself.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
That's when you can really be oh shit, you just feel it, and then it just goes deep into some, Herb Albert and the Tijuana Brass.
Mm-hmm.
If you know, you know. And it's just childhood nostalgia, and it's just, so it puts me everywhere I need to be. It is my middle name. Music is my love. My deepest love is music, and I don't know where I would be without it. If we didn't have it, I can't imagine life, dude.
Yeah.
Not at all.
Well, we definitely wouldn't be here right now.
No.
Yeah.
No.
But also, that makes sense. You had the support of enjoying music early on in your household.
Yes.
You literally, you literally had music involved in your major.
Yes.
When you were doing dancing, which, those two things are very involved.
Yes.
It's harder to do one without the other.
Yeah.
But, that is very much its own realm. So you've kind of just always been in it.
Always. Truly.
What does it look like when you need a break from music? I imagine that there's got to be at least a 20-minute period sometime in one of the years where you're just all right, maybe it's just.
Yeah.
What does that look like?
Yeah. Yeah. I believe without music is a form of meditation.
Mm-hmm.
It's a really special time to be with yourself and your thoughts. And I give myself that daily. Yeah, very aware of what I'm wanting and needing, and if I'm running with music or if I'm, playing with music in a good way, like, because we can not want to hear all the garbage in our head and we can listen to music, and then there's times when we need to like sit with ourselves and like hold yourself in that space of silence, and
that's when you put an instrumental on and you just let the garbage become a freestyle.
Like, this counts, right? This counts as silence, right? No.
It's just atonal music, so it's just
yeah, exactly. Yeah, I'll just turn on the 111 hertz.
Yeah. It's binary music. I don't know what to tell you. It's 001 010011.
Okay, literally my life. Oh, that's hilarious. But yeah, I mean, I do it every day. I think it's really important to not listen to music and give yourself that time to be with yourself.
Very
That's
much.
why we're here.
Well, thank you for sharing all that with us.
Yes.
Now we're going to go ahead and we're going to move on to some hypothetical questions. Yes, and for these, sky's the limits. The questions are all made up, so the answers are allowed to be as well.
Okay.
But this first one is pretty straightforward. If you could work with any one person, the only requirement is they have to be alive.
Okay.
Who would you want to work with, and how would you want to work with them?
Who? One person. God damn. So many bits coming to my head.
Fair.
And
if it helps, it doesn't matter who you pick. Everybody else is still an option in the future.
Yeah, definitely. I've never really thought about this. Yeah, I know.
We can narrow it down to who do you think someone just really cool?
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
Jimmy, have you heard of Tony Hawk? He's pretty cool.
Oh, God. Can we skip it and come back?
Yeah, totally.
Cool.
For this next one, we're going to narrow it down a little bit. Who's somebody local that you're aware of that you haven't gotten to connect with yet, but you would like to?
Ooh. Haven't gotten to connect musically.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool. Yeah, Golden Goddess.
Mhm.
She's local in Portland, and she sings on her sets, which I think is really cute, and she makes her own songs, and I feel like we would just rock it up there, just a little duo song together. So I would definitely love to work with Golden Goddess. We're good acquaintances. We talk whenever we see each other at shows.
Gotcha. So you're already running in the same circles anyway.
Oh yeah, for sure. I do feel like it'll probably happen if we want it to happen, So
Well, everybody, add her in the comments.
Add
Make it happen.
yeah, she's an angel. She's really sweet.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah.
And then for this next one, like I said before, sky's the limits, and it's pretty literal in this sense. But if you could perform anywhere in the world, and you wouldn't have to worry about crowd access or building stability or power. It was guaranteed the best lineup, guaranteed the best show.
Cool.
And it doesn't have to be a venue. It could be anywhere.
Yeah.
Where would you want to perform?
Yeah, I would probably want to perform in like Madrid, Spain, or I feel like Ireland would be pretty sick on like a cliff.
Yeah.
Like with the views. Can you imagine the drone just going back and just big old views of like these stones that have been there for centuries upon centuries, and we just get to like nourish them with our weight and our music and our love, and our intention. I would love to do that. That sounds perfect.
Actually, like low-key stuck on that drone shot.
Yeah, I know you are.
Yeah, that would be cool. That would be cool because it would just like zoom way out. So like the people that get to watch the production part afterwards are like, this is like a music video. What is happening right now? It zooms back in and it's coming back. So you're standing on that one little piece. You're like, everybody in the crowd's just like, why is she looking that way? We're over here.
There's a drone. It's for the shot.
Guys, it's for the gram.
Do it for the gram. Do it for the gram.
Oh yeah, I love that. And then to wrap up the hypothetical questions, if you could get one more album from anybody, they could be alive, they could be dead, they could have not put out an album in 100 years, they could have put out an album yesterday.
Right.
Who would you want an album from?
Ooh, I would love a new album from Sade. I wonder what that would be. I feel like that would just be super Good vibes, sexy, gorgeous, flowy. Need.
You mean like everything she's ever made ever?
Yes.
So more of the same.
In line.
Yes.
No more. Yeah, I want more.
I will say this. I know this isn't her greatest track ever made, but Smooth Operator hit me.
What do you mean?
Just the right time. Like, well, I mean, when you ask real Sade fans, they're like, no, it's all about these songs. You know what I mean? Like, the primary radio hit one is never the top one in the catalogs.
It is for me.
But that was a song that like redefined music for me. Like because it came out on the radio for me. I was pretty young.
Yeah.
And I just remember hearing it and I was just like,
no need.
Why is my body doing this?
Smooth
Just
operator.
why are those drums doing those cool sounds?
So good.
This is like that Kokomo song, but it's more adult and it's not done by Kermit the Frog.
Yes, Beach Boys.
Yeah. So that I have a very soft spot in my heart for that song.
Me too. It's one of my favorite songs. But yeah, I would love that. I would love a John Denver to come back to do something else. I grew up with him and all his music. So I think that would be really fun and nostalgic. And yeah, I think Snoop Dogg should do it.
Wait, did he just put one out recently?
Probably.
Pretty sure he just did. So go check that out.
Okay.
It'll change your day.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. But with that being said, we are going to go ahead and start wrapping this up. What can we look forward to in the next 6 months?
Yeah. High Gain Theory and I are gonna release the song called Elves, which is not the name of the songs, to be named.
Okay. Everybody put name ideas in the comments quick.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm super excited to get that out. We perform it a lot and it is one of my faves. But yeah, I mean, I'm going to be performing. We're performing this month at we just got rescheduled because they accidentally double booked, but it happens. So
been there.
Yeah. I can't think of the details on that, so that's good. That's
all right.
That's great.
For this next one, then go and look straight at your camera. Tell everybody how they can find you.
Ooh, yeah. So, I'd love for you to follow me on Instagram, FunkyFairy1111, and then Spotify, Apple Music, FunkyFairy. It's all one word. Don't need to use that space bar, baby. I'm also, if you want to laugh, on SoundCloud, Caitlin, I think it's Caitlin Morin, actually. Hilarious. Truly hilarious. Back in the day, I'm like recording in my car because there's no quiet place in my apartment complex. So it is pretty funny, the stuff that I was, getting out of my heart back then. But yeah, those are the places where you can find me and support me. I'd love to talk to you guys. You can always shoot me a message on Instagram and I'll send some love back. But yeah.
Oh, yeah. I'll share this with you. This will be a little nugget for anybody who makes it this far into this particular episode. Way back in the day, my first instances of recording was just me and my buddy Mike, and we had a laptop. No equipment, just the laptop.
What I'm saying.
And we couldn't get to a good volume for the laptop microphone to hear us.
Yes.
So we went out to his Dodge Neon.
That's right. Yep. In the car.
Let me tell you, something about the bubbly Dodge Neon, the one that looked like a whale. It was just the acoustics in that thing were stellar.
Yeah.
I actually a year or two ago got to hear one of the recordings from the car. And I was just like,
not bad.
I need to get me one of these. This would make a great vocal booth.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
sometimes the car comes in clutch.
They made it look so silly on the outside, but they made it sound so good on the inside. So that's just a little bit of a shared moment there.
Ooh, love that.
Now, do you have before we wrap it up officially, do you have anybody else you want to put on while you're on here? Any shout outs, any plugs?
Yeah, of course. Always High Gain Theory. Love him so much. Love you. He's amazing. Spotify, Apple Music, Instagram. He's always posting really cool stuff with his guitar. He plays live and over his beats that he makes all from scratch. Such a talented guy. I don't know anybody else.
Fair enough.
Can't think of anyone. I'm sorry. I love you guys.
Who are your two producers?
I don't work with the other one.
Oh, gotcha. Who's your primary one then?
High Gain Theory.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
All right, well, that counts for everybody then.
Yes, it does.
All right, then with that being said, I've got one last question to go. Before we do, I'm going to steal the camera for just a second. As always, y'all, please make sure to like, subscribe, push all the buttons, do all the things. You know, I don't know where they are, but you do, and I trust you. And one more shout out to the Brothers Apothecary, Ronald Records, and Portland Water. Thanks for keeping us hydrated. And with that being said, the final question. And this is entirely up to your interpretation. But in all of music, what is an album you feel is more on the obscure side? So it's a bit of a deep cut. It's one not a lot of people would know. It's one you think everybody should know.
If you haven't listened to, I mean, I know everyone knows Post Malone, but
I've heard of him before.
you hear me?
Oh, you mean Patrick?
Oh.
No, just kidding. I don't know if that's his first
It's
name.
Austin.
Is his first name Austin?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I'm glad you knew. Now I was waiting for somebody to be like, his name's not Patrick.
Well, they probably still will.
I know.
I don't know if you guys know Austin Malone, but the Stoney album. Have you heard all of it? Every single one on it.
I'm sure I've listened through all the way at least once. I'm a big fan of giving an album its due process.
But
it's been a long time.
It needs that due process. It got me through like some of the hardest freaking years of my life, weirdest times where you're just going through, piles of garbage, just dealing. And then it was just like to hear that whole album, it was so good. It hit home and it really just made me feel seen and held. And it's so cute that like somebody like so like famous and like well known now, because he wasn't, we all have our come up and he wasn't well known.
What, you mean he wasn't a Nepo baby?
So it's just cool to like, I like him in that chat room where I'm like, I knew him before he was big.
I saw that video when it came out.
So yeah, definitely Stoney album just hits home.
Hell yeah.
He is also someone that I would love to work with. I think that would be so fun.
We did it.
Hey.
We figured it out.
Hey.
Yeah. All right. I think that's a great way to wrap this up.
Yes.
Go ahead and get up on out of here. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah.
It's so fun.
Yeah. And this has been another exciting episode of Jimmy's Jambox. I'm Jimmy.
I'm Caitlin.
And we're signing off. Later, y'all.
Bye.
That's a wrap.
This is not a podcast. This is a show.
Keep jamming.